Olympics.
All right, a little family edition. Kay said, I'm going to do this on the show, so might as well kick things off.
Yeah, man.
Luca Nation, we want to welcome you guys back to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze. Notice how aggressively I have to speak so that I don't get cut off in the first 15
Dude, can I say
seconds of an
something?
intro.
Your hair looks nice. Did you get a haircut?
Yeah, I told him, give me the cage.
You're looking sharp, man. You're looking nice. It's looking good, man. I mean, I am worried about this haircut here. I mean, I got to get it again, get it shaped up. It's getting cold here. So I'm worried about, buzzing it so close. It's a little cold in the wintertime, So, and you you're in Mexico, so you don't have to worry about the corta la pelo, You don't have to cut it so short. It doesn't matter. It's warm.
It's warm. It's nice weather here. I don't want to come back.
That's it. I think I'm going to come down there. We should trade. You come up and live in New York. I'll take the family down to Mexico. No?
As opposed to just you come down to Mexico with your family?
I got to take the family down to Mexico.
I have to leave this country for you to
Dude, you opened all those packs? No. Okay, because you only got one team card. Let me see that team card.
No, I got two.
Okay, let me see that team card. So listen, I'm on location here. We're visiting friends, listeners of the podcast, actually. So we're at the house, and we went to two card stores. Let me give a shout-out to World of Wax in Randolph, New Jersey, I think it is. They got two locations. They got one in Market, but World of Wax. We walk in, and it is – I mean, I'll get into it in a second. We also went to another card store. I'll talk about that store in a second. That'll be part of what I talk about on the show. But Ian is wearing his Vince Carter USA jersey, and he buys packs, 96 Skybox Olympics. 50 cents a pack. He grabs 20 packs, $10. So to anybody who says you can't have some fun with the kids and the hobby, and you find the 50 cent, the dollar back, and look at this. He's got the whole Olympic team here.
Who's in that? So the 92 team.
The 92 was the dream team.
The dream team,
right? The dream
96.
team.
96. Who's on that?
Think
team?
about that. Some of the guys from 92 were on 96 also, like Charles Barkley, Karl Malone.
Scotty?
Right? Scottie Pippen was on the team. David Robinson was on the team. So you still have John Stockton was on 92 and on 96. And then they added, because remember, 92, Shaq was not the college guy that they picked. They picked Christian Laettner. Right? So Shaq was on 96. Penny was on 96 because he wasn't playing yet. I mean, he was after. He didn't come into the league.
Richmond?
So you added, Mitch Richmond. Exactly. That's who was wearing number 9 before Carter wore it and after Jordan wore it. But yeah, I mean, Barkley, Penny, Grant Hill was on this team. Karl Malone, Reggie Miller, Hakeem Olajuwon was a little add-in because there were so many centers first time around with Robinson there and Ewing there. And Mitch Richmond, David Robinson, Glenn Robinson, big dog whose son is playing in the league now. Stockton, Lenny Wilkins was the coach. Oh, he still has packs left. So, I mean, most of them, the problem, of course, is that, they stuck together. So you see the cards are pretty damaged. You see the little, white on the card here.
But he's got some didn't get damaged,
some of
like the Hakeem.
Well, the Hakeem's damaged in the back. Yeah, but it's cool just to open them up. And, it's 50 cents, whatever. If PSA ever opens up, if one or two of these looks nice, maybe we'll raid one of them. But, it's more of just, this is cool, man. This is a card store. I mean, we went to two different stores, and obviously one of them was a little more people buying more high-end stuff. But it was cool to see, Black Friday, a lot of fun going on. But this World of Wax in New Jersey, I walk in, they're live on Instagram. Let me just give kind of it was a cool bookend for me after our episode yesterday where we talked about building a card store and talking with Zablo about what he's going to
exactly.
Yeah.
We had this was an LCS week through and through. We had Zablo on Tuesday. We had a guy in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, opening up an LCS. So this is a bookend, like you just said.
Yeah, and I'm used to my LCS, which is small, fit in the room that I'm in here, and it's the showcase is falling all over itself, and the guys got the same cards, empty box, you name it. You walk into this, it's well lit. They got tables just out with breaking mats and stuff for people to come and break and probably do pack wars and whatever else. They are on the phone. I heard in the first 5 minutes I was there, oh, how much is that one? Yeah, he wants that one. Is that PSA or SGC? Oh, you got the Tyson? Autograph? Yeah, get on there. And I see kids with their moms walking around buying cards. How much is that? How much is this? One kid bought an Ian book in front of Ian, which was really funny because we have more Ian book rookie cards than we know what to do with because Ian collects guys named Ian. So we were like, wow, I almost said to Ian, see where we don't live local, man, because it's funny. Bagel Master Vadim is texting me as we're talking. It's like, hey, you get handed the phones, you're famous. And that's what happened. We're walking around the store and the owner of the store, Phil, one of the owners, one of the guys, he's walking around and he's on a live. So think about that for a second, right? So they got kids buying singles. You got a guy in the back right who probably just took a collection and he's pricing. He's on eBay with a laptop and he's pricing out cards to put in the showcase. Then you got 3 other guys, selling wax. People are coming in selling wax there. They got a Black Friday table, 20% off, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, just supplies everywhere, but clean. A lot of stuff, but clean. A lot of place to walk around. And this guy Phil is walking around Instagram Live. He's got like 70-something people and he's selling. And he's showing off, autographed helmets and whatever else is, where he's walking in. And I'm like, oh, what are you on live? Let me say hi. And he's like, here. And he hands me the phone. So I'm like, hey, who wants to buy an autograph? Like, I'm just walking around doing like a guest live, right? Like, hey, who wants to buy an autograph?
Did he know who you were?
No. I'm pricing out like $1,300 for a Brady Tampa Bay Bucks helmet. I'm like, hey, how much is this? 25% off. Like I'm trying to do like sales for these guys. And then Vadim Bagels comes on, Bagels and Wax. I'm like, Vadim, what's up, man? So it's like people we know on the live. So then, of course, he finds Ian and he gave Ian a free hat. Everybody who's buying stuff, say, hey, do you like football? Here you go. Take a pack of $5 Absolute. He gave it to him for free. Maybe you pull a Kaboom. Like cool little add-on. He's there with mom, spends $50, spends $20 on a card. You like football? Here you go. Grab this. Dad's coming in, with their sons on a Saturday, Black Friday, extended sale, buying boxes. Ian and I cracked a box of Optic Retail. And he got a LaMelo base. Just basketball. LaMelo base. A couple LeBron inserts. Nothing crazy. A Zion, second year hollow, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Just a little hollow. No number. Yeah, it's cool stuff. It's funny, man, because it gets me thinking about LCSs, and then it gets me thinking about the next thing about opening packs, and I'll get to that in a moment. But it was cool to see because I after the episodes this week, I started thinking, like, how are these LCSs going to survive? Like, how are they going to survive? And the answer is, not all of them are. And it's funny because the town I'm in now here, Rockaway, New Jersey, and then, the town over where the store was, we actually...
Fun fact.
Shoot.
That's where Egot lives.
Egot! Uncle Egot. I love that guy. So we actually stopped at 3 stores. 3 in our little tour to New Jersey here. And the one, World of Wax, amazing. Next one, a lot of baseball vintage, old guy, typical, he's sitting down, didn't really get up, no live, no social presence, not really well lit. It kind of smelled like Old Spice, which is cool. I'm an old man. I don't mind Old Spice, right? So, and that's where we got, that's where we got these Skybox packs. So, it's cool. And I got some football that I'll open and I'll have for our Whatnot episode for tomorrow. We got some cool, Zach Wilson and stuff like that to sell, and then a couple Mac Jones and stuff. So you see those lots come out soon. But the difference is we left the second store saying, how's this going to survive? And maybe it's because he doesn't care. Like, he's a retired guy. He doesn't need to be on Instagram. The other dude was selling, like, literally every 5 minutes. We just take this. Oh, this person's coming in to pick up. They're local. Okay, put these aside. And they're actually on the showcase, putting, okay, here's the
Can I answer how it's going to survive?
Shoot.
And this is what I would recommend. This might be a play, honestly, for our audience. It's if you're a young go-getter and you don't have a 9-to-5 job, or you do have a 9-to-5 job and you have ambitions to being in the hobby, Cage already knows what I'm going to say. I would go and scope out these owners and I would say, how about I come in as a partner? 25%, 50%, and I'll build you an online presence to support your LCS. I'll organize your shelves. I'll add a little bit of the youth that you need, and we'll both win.
And I'll go one step further with you. The third store is dying. And it was the one that I liked going to the most while I was here because it was one where I buy Sportflix. He had like the most variety of old stuff, you name it. And also, when I was doing UFC, that was where Matt, who's here, who I'm visiting, he's the person who actually got me into UFC cards, believe it or not, told me, hey, this Anderson Silva selling for $300. And I'm like, no way, I can make money on cards again? This was like, back in 2009, right? Got me back into the UFC cards. We were talking today about how much they are and how much I shouldn't have sold my stuff. But it is what it is, man. You always get back to that whole regret. I would have, should have, could have. But that store was the one where you could go in and buy the Topps UFC cards $5, $10 more than what the box would be. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't killing you on the price, you name it. But he wasn't buying enough. He doesn't get allocation. Not getting the stuff anymore. He lost his top stuff. So if you were that young go-getter and happened to go into that store 6 months ago, 4 months ago, even while everything was popping, right? And said to the guy, hey, I'm looking to maybe invest. And maybe said to him, hey, your Topps allocation. You're not filling it. Why don't you just sell me everything? Sell it to me. I'll buy it at the cost. Right? I'll make sure. I'll get in. You could instead of just taking a piece of the store or partnering with them, which you could do also, you could probably do something this guy wasn't able to do. He doesn't know Instagram. He doesn't know the different places to sell the top stuff that may not fly off the shelves. And you could be making money on the soccer that you're getting in that he doesn't want to lay the money out for because he doesn't realize that soccer is 10 times what he's paying Topps for it. You know?
Am I hearing this right? Because I'm thinking maybe you and I do this because you keep telling me, Andrew, I want to make more money with this podcast.
I always want to make more money. Let's make more money.
There are stores that don't have enough allocation. Mm-hmm. There are stores that have too much allocation.
Well, just allocation that they can't meet or require. Yeah.
They can't sell enough, right?
Yeah. Or, I mean, listen, it becomes.
Doesn't that seem like an opportunity?
It most definitely does. Topps, and there's dealer net, so these guys should be. But Topps changed their rules especially for the smaller guys last year. That's where I came in and helped my LCS out. And he's like, look at this. I got to order this. I got to order 4 cases of wrestling. I got to order Star Wars or something. Because remember, Topps is not just these things. Topps is everything. Topps Garbage Pail Kids got all these things. Got to order one from this. It's like ordering one from column A, one from column B kind of stuff, right? So I'm like, I'll take the Star Wars.
To get our good stuff, you need to take this much.
Exactly. To get an allocation of the baseball chrome, and maybe sapphire or whatever it is. You get the minimum allocation. You still have to take a minimum Star Wars, some wrestling, some this. Like I committed a year and a half before it was released because it kept getting delayed to buying this case of women's wrestling cards for them. But it was like $500 for the whole case. It's like, okay, whatever. My friend's daughter likes wrestling. Yeah, I give some boxes for birthday presents. We opened some. I got a cool Becky Lynch, trophy belt card out of 25. That's still in the Magic basement somewhere. So, it is what it is. I'll open almost anything, man. I got WNBA Prism blasters. I'll open them. I don't care.
All right. So one store's incredible. One store was okay. One store is
dying. Is that crazy? All within 5 minutes of each other.
Well, it's not so crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
I think there's probably only room for one store in a town, right?
Maybe. I don't know, man. It's 2 different towns. That first store, they're doing well. And what's funny about it is the way it was explained to me is that it was an older type of store that was taken over and revamped.
Interesting. Yeah, so that's the move. Honestly, that's the move. And if you're good at buying collections and breaking it off, I think that could cover your rent and everything else is upside.
The difference, I think, is taking the store into today's way of selling. They're on Instagram. Like you walk in the store, they're there walking around on Instagram with 70-something people buying to bolster.
It's like their own QVC.
Yep, live and selling. You know what I mean? Like just doing their thing. It's pretty crazy. So,
do you think eventually Instagram is going to do what Whatnot offers? Like
maybe
that whole Instagram shopping experience.
I think they're starting to do it. They haven't really focused on sports cards, but they should. Why not? Because think about it, if they just threw in like in the lives your ability to like list the thing and have somebody pay, and they could take a percentage of it, why wouldn't they? I'm sure it's easy enough to do it.
They have the people there, and they definitely have.
There's definitely deals being done over Instagram, right?
So LCSs, there's one. I have a topic. This is up your alley. Devontae Graham, game winner,
dagger. I like Devontae, man. You know that. Listen, he's the kind of guy we talk about, right? Where every once in a while this will happen. He'll drop 40. Any night he could drop 40. Any night he'll have the game winner. And now maybe with Zion coming back, maybe his role becomes something a little more, maybe you always said the Hornets weren't the right place for him because he didn't have anybody in the middle. They're dumping it into Cody Zeller. They're dumping it into like Bismack Biyombo. And he could play more off ball and maybe actually score and be a better role player. I think they can do that with Zion coming back.
This Pelicans team is they're built for success. Like the record won't say it is, but you got a really interesting young talent who could score from anywhere in Brandon Ingram. You got Zion, who's going to dominate the paint. You have Valanciunas, who's a great pick and roll player, he's going to open up so much space for Devontae. You have Josh Hart, just a good utility guy. You have Nikhil Alexander Walker, SGA's cousin, I believe, young prospect. You have this guy Herb Jones, who reminds me of the coach for Miracle, but that's actually not him. That's Herb Brooks.
Herb Brooks, that's
He's
great.
a
Good one.
defender. And then you have Willie Green coaching, young coach. I remember him on the Sixers, just a tough guy, tough coach. They played defense. This team, man, I've been watching them all year. They're a team that's way better than their record. And it brought, like, I was watching the games yesterday. I was watching the scores. My internet was out, so I was watching the scores. It got me thinking, and it's crazy there's no content on this. So I'm hoping our community can help me with this. This middle part of the season is the separation is bench units. Who has the best bench? And there's no content out there. So I was like searching like plus minus who has the best bench in the league, who has the worst bench. The reason I said that is the Jazz had the best record in the NBA last year and maybe the year before. They had a really good bench. But I think it's kind of regressed. Like, I don't think Jordan Clarkson is as good as he's been the last 2 years. I think the reason the Suns are so good is because they have an incredible starting lineup. Their bench hasn't really come through. So I was like, looking, like, who has the best bench? I know the Warriors are up there. Anyone stick out to you that has like a bench unit that, you know, might be worth looking at? Or
I mean, it depends because a lot of these teams are not healthy or at full strength. You know what I mean? Like the Nets, I would say, would have a great bench, but I watched their starters the other day, and now LaMarcus Aldridge is starting because Blake Griffin is hurt. You know, they actually had DeAndre Bembry starting. He was pretty good. You know, Patty Mills starting because of no Kyrie. Like that Nets team would, if they were healthy, their bench would probably start on a lot of teams. You know what I mean?
Patty Mills, Blake Griffin coming off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, Aldridge.
You know, Patty Mills is the most efficient scorer in the NBA this year. 1.33 points per shot. Curry's right there with him, but Patty Mills, incredible season so far. Incredible.
You know, and I mean, you got to look at a team like the Lakers, right? Because you can name a million players on the team right now. Like Carmelo comes off the bench, you know, although he's been pressed to start. I mean, it's the same thing, right? And I think part of what you're saying makes sense. It's the depth. When you have a good bench, one, it makes up for when your starters get injured. But two, if your bench is that good, then your second team is beating the other team's second team. And, you know, a lot of the NBA, a lot of these guys do play almost the whole game, right? But you got to give people rest here and there. This way they're ready for that fourth quarter. You name it, right? The pizza guys are there.
I had pizza last night.
Pizza's yummy. Get some chicken parm.
The biggest thing is your first rotation, your first team doesn't get burned out by playing tough games every single game.
Well, the worst thing you would have is like your first team goes out, right, and they leave with a lead, and then your second team gives it right back up because the other team's bench is better than yours. Instead, if you can expand on that lead, at worst, keep it, then you don't have to have your starters come back in and make up ground again. You know what I mean? Like, that's the worst thing. It's like, you know, when you're running a 4x4 relay, you don't want to have a weak link give up, you know, the lead that you get, right? So that's why bench is important. I think that's why it makes sense, in addition to, you know, filling in depth when those starters are injured.
So I'm curious, you guys. I mean, I think the Bulls have one of the best benches in the league. Alex Caruso, you have Kobe White. They're incredible first rotation. You guys tell me. I couldn't find any content for this year of ranking these bench units, and a lot of it is it's early in the season and there's injuries. Let's move on. Zion cleared, Ja's injured. How
Crazy.
the turntables turn? Yeah,
I love it. How the turntables have turned. You're in a funny mood today. I like it, man. There's a couple that got me laughing. But yeah, I mean, they announced.
Success.
By the way,
Victory.
I must have broken it. I must have been a newsbreaker. But guys, when I say about cards, follow the beat writers, right? And follow the guys who are out there. Well, Shams Charine he's not exactly a beat writer. But like, you know, Slab Stocks, their story about Zion coming back was quoting me. Luka Nation King's lawyer reports that Zion's coming back. You know, like, I guess I was one of the first ones to put it up on. You know, like I'm now the beat writer, right? But because I follow these people on Twitter because you can get a jump on it, right? And wouldn't you know, about a half an hour after I posted that, I got a whole bunch of offers on Star Stock for my Zion cards. You know, I mean, it's funny how it happens, and we tell you guys this, right? Like, you know, if you went on last night and you watched the Ja injury, now look, it doesn't look good, but it turns out it's just a sprain. People
I
listed.
didn't see what happened. There was
people were listing their cards. He kind of, you know, look, there was like sort of no contact. I mean, you know, it looked like Collins kind of banged into his knee a little bit. He kind of just came up a little lame, you know.
Yeah.
You know. Who knows? Strain. Might be out a couple games. Luka was out with a knee and leg injury.
You
Came
remember
back.
Giannis's injury?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was insane.
And we thought he was done.
I thought he might never play again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did.
Listen, I got to tell you. So maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I don't even know how long ago, 8 years ago, I'm walking in the city and it's like snowy and icy, and I hit a patch of ice and my knee like went a completely different way, and I kind of like bounced up and I it hurt. And like the guys who I was with, we were walking to go to lunch. They were like, "Oh my God, your knee just bent in a way that it should never have bent ever. Like no knee is supposed to do that." And I kept walking, and it was bruised the next day, and it hurt. But then it was fine. No, it just like twisted, like my knee was planted in one spot, and the rest of my body was just spun 90 degrees in the other way.
So really,
and I kind of like
really, you're an athlete. You just have let yourself go.
I was much younger. If this happened to me now, I'd be dead. But the point is, these athletes, you see these injuries, and some of them look like nothing, and they're season ending. Some of them, they're just. I mean, it's a hair difference between season ending and like, all right, I'm back. You see them go off to the sidelines, and they're in the medical tent, and then he's back in the game. You're like, oh my God, his knee went like 720 degrees. Like it went around like a cartoon. Like it was a Tasmanian devil in the knee.
Like a Krypton?
Yeah, like Krypton Goon. Exactly. Oh, Gary V. No, so yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is. But Ja, I hope he's okay. People were listing Josh cheap last night. You could, if you wanted to gamble, you could have gambled on some Ja.
Non-contact injuries always look bad, but I didn't understand. Like it's not like his knee was tweaked right or left. I like rebounded. I couldn't find what happened. So it's good that it's a sprain and nothing more serious.
Zion, I don't want to be so high on Zion until I see what he looks like. It's great to get a news article about it, but let me see him. Because there's a commercial. I saw a commercial recently with him. He's drinking Mountain Dew. I forget who he's on the couch with drinking Mountain Dew. He looks large. He
would need 2 plane seats.
He looks large, or at least a seatbelt extender. Yeah. Yeah.
So guys, what's cool about the NFT world? You get to learn things that you could apply to cards. And it's so interesting. You go into each project in NFTs and you click on, who owns this project. And I realized how important that is, right? Like understanding who the holders of a project are, specifically who holds the majority of them. And why does that apply? To Zion cards, man, Zion market is resilient. It's resilient, man. Like the fact that his Optic PSA 10 is $100 card still with 20,000 Prism PSA 10s out there. His Optic, his second tier card, is still $100 card, even though he's out of shape. He's been injured time and time again. He hasn't proven anything. I'll tell you, man, that Zion market's tough. There's some big holders.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The 20,000, pop. We talked to Dan Fleischman about that, and basically what he's saying is there's 20,000. Even though that 20,000, it's not 20,000 that are actually available, because he says there are guys who have 100 of those. It's not 20,000 holders of it. There's like probably 10,000 holders of it, because most people hold 10 or 50.
This is how I look at projects now that I invest in end cards. It's my upside to downside. Okay, right? Sometimes we look at the upside, but not the downside. And I got to tell you, I don't think Zion is a great investment. I could be wrong. Especially the Zion Prism base. What's the upside on that card? It goes from 260 to 350 to 400?
Well, it depends. If it goes from 250 or 260 now to 350 this year, that's pretty good upside if you're looking to get out this year.
That's what is that?
That's almost 50% from 260 to 350. Yeah, 40%. That's a pretty good investment for a couple months.
What if he doesn't show out?
What it showed
does
you
that become a $100 card?
Yeah, but the downside's pretty low, man. I mean, he doesn't have to show out. It card didn't really go down that much when he's blubberific and not playing.
So that card is not going to go to 100.
I doubt it, because the people who have held it have showed you that they're ready to give that guy. Look, I have a feeling that card, if he comes back and they shut him down, not because it's like career-threatening injury, but they shut him down in a month or two because the team is just terrible. And they say, you know what, we'd rather have him back healthy. Maybe it goes to 200, right? Because there's just people are ready to. He could still play 20 years, maybe come. You're going to see news articles. He's getting in the best shape of his life. He's going to come back and dominate, score 35, 10, and 10. Like we've seen it now. The proof's in the pudding. You kind of started to talk about it yourself, how it's a resilient base, Zion. And yeah, I'm sure some people will lose patience with him, but clearly the guy's not playing. And this has been multiple seasons, right, where he comes in halfway through. And people are not just dumping his card, even with 20,000 plus of them. They're not dumping the cards; they're holding them. So, I think there is very little downside.
Interesting, man. That's it's a fascinating card. Really awesome slate of NBA games tonight. We have the Bulls playing the Heat, Suns. I think a 15-game winning streak, playing Brooklyn. Really, really awesome. Games.
It's good to watch these games, man. I hope these teams are playing, because it's that part of the season now. End of the first third of the season. You're getting into that second third. That second quarter of the season where it's like, all right, it's the longer days. If the Nets lose, they're not going to be like, oh my goodness, we can't beat the Suns. Let's fold up the shop. Teams don't win every game, although 15-game winning streak. It's pretty impressive.
The Suns team looks good. They're playing really, really well. They have the best offensive and defensive rotation in the league. What else? What else do you want to talk about?
Listen, Thanksgiving, Raiders played. Thank you guys for playing on Thanksgiving because there's no way I would have picked you to beat the Dallas Cowboys on our What Not Picking show. But let me tell you
Cowboys are trash.
My takeaway from that is don't go all in on Mahomes just yet. Don't be partying that, the Chiefs are back and Mahomes is back. He scored 19 points or whatever the heck it was they scored against the Cowboys. What we just showed you, I was ready to give the Cowboys kind of like a pass, right? Like, oh, well, that wasn't the real Cowboys. They don't have their weapons. They don't have anybody, blah, blah, blah. So, look, the Chiefs beat the Cowboys. The Raiders are terrible. And yeah, you could say, we only have Dak and we lost CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. Well, the Raiders only have Derek Carr, who's a middle-of-the-road quarterback. Ruggs is facing 40 years in jail. They have no coach. And Darren Waller was out for more than half the game, and they still beat you. That's a bad team that beat the Cowboys. So
Jacobs is really good.
What? They don't use him, or he shies away from contact. You watch his games. Like I watch all the Raiders games. It's weird. He disappears. He becomes like Devin Booker. You would think somebody with his skill set, pass catching and running, that he would be much more involved in the game, and he's just not. It's odd to watch. And he shies away from contact a lot, which is not good in the NFL. And maybe it's because he's been hurt and he doesn't want to get hurt again. But point is, everybody jumped back on the Mahomes bandwagon this week. Oh, he's back. First place in the AFC West. He beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys are the best team in the world. Maybe pump the brakes a little bit on that whole Mahomes back thing. Because he didn't really look that good against the Cowboys. Carr looked better, which nobody's invested in Carr unless your name is Vegas Dave. So, all right, that's my little word to the wise, right? A little hesitancy from me for Mahomes.
Cool. Maybe the best matchup. So there's a lot this week. Maybe the best matchup was Duke Gonzaga yesterday. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, but two really, really good freshmen, Paolo Banchero and Chet Holmgren. And this Banchero guy had 20 points in the first half. Wow. Maybe like the best first half I've ever seen a freshman play. 20 points in the first half against Zaga. Really good game. Well-developed game.
Who won?
Duke by 3.
Ian and I watched the college basketball game yesterday. He was very upset.
Going to be 1 and 2. Both really good players.
We watched Kansas-Dayton. Kansas, number 4 seed, was 4-0 or 5-0. Dayton 2-3 or something like that. And Dayton beat them.
Nice, on a game winner, right?
Yeah, it was an awkward game winner. Like Dayton was winning for most of the game, and Kansas came back and took the lead, and then had an offensive foul turnover called on them, and Dayton came back down with no time. Kansas blocked the shot, minute and a half. Power forward goes across the lane, throws up a prayer. It bounces off front rim, glass, and in. As time expired.
Wow.
Yep, win by 1.
I love these early season tournaments, like in the Bahamas and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
It was like an ESPN Invitational. Dickie V was on there, and he was basically saying, look, teams don't win every game. This is it would have been better if Kansas won. He says, Bill Self, he says, this is one of those learning things. Like, where anybody can get beat on any given day. It would have been a great learning experience for him in the film room had they won. So then you get that whole, like, you guys got to show up every day, because if you're a top 5 team in the country, everyone is bringing their A game coming for you. Doesn't matter that Dayton was 2-3 and shouldn't be in the same gym as you. They can come out there and beat you if your shots aren't falling too. So it's one of those cool things with college. And you gotta remember, Ian was watching. He's like, "How does Kansas lose to this team?" I said, you gotta remember, these are kids. You got teenagers out there. They've never faced any kind of pressure situation like this before, and you learn from it.
People don't realize that the NBA game is twice as long as the college game, even though they're 8 minutes in difference in length. Mm-hmm. It's like 40 to 50 possessions per game.
Yep.
In college. In the NBA, dude, some teams put up 100 shots a game. So it's there's sample size, right? You make 3 shots here, you get a few lucky bounces, and the game goes a completely different way. In the NBA, you could be up by who was up by 24, and then the Spurs, they were up by 24 yesterday against the Celtics, and the Celtics came back led by 5. Then the Spurs came back and won by 5.
Crazy how it works, right? It's crazy. It's a game of runs, is what they say. You got to play today.
I would also play. And shout out to Alt. I got an awesome card, awesome pickup. Like, this is like a collector thing. I'm saying it now. I'm going to flip it probably when it goes up 3x. I'll flip it. But no, it's my first Kobe patch auto, game worn Kobe patch auto of his MVP season.
Can you show it? You just gonna share the screen and show it?
I don't think it's in my profile yet, because
we don't get these.
I paid with ETH.
This is the guy here. Let me tell you. Let me give a little credit to this guy here. He's the guy who's going to go into the crypto world, make a little money on NFTs and crypto trading, and bring that win back into cardboard, which is good because it props up the cardboard. So these guys, he had a couple good trades on some NFTs. Didn't bring me along for the ride. He told me, but I didn't go. Sometimes you got to drag.
You got in late.
I got in late. Yeah, I did. But I couldn't. I can't find this Kobe with my sloppies. But
dude, we were buying this project. It was called Chain Runners. It was 3 times more expensive than a Kobe auto game worn pack.
But think about that for a second. To anybody out there who's doing the trading on these things, every once in a while you have to take a step back, and we do this, right? So we did this here, and Andrew's obviously doing it right now. It's almost funny money. It's like using chips in a casino with this crypto stuff. So you're like, I'm going to buy one of these. How much are you spending on it? An ETH and a half. And you're like, what? You're spending $8,000 on what? What is this thing? When you could buy a Kobe patch? Oh no! What? Come on now! Like every once in a while, you gotta take a step back, use the wide angle on your camera, and be like, all right. So look what you did. You brought it back over. I want to see what this thing looks like.
I sent it to you. I'll pull it up, guys. So they're moving it to my account, my vault this weekend. So
when you buy an alt, you bought it from somebody else? It was in somebody's vault, and you made an offer or something like that, or you just?
I bought it straight out, but I asked if I could buy it in ETH.
And they facilitated that for you?
Yeah. So they're going to manually move it to my vault. Normally, if I bought it right through like fiat, stupid USD,
stupid real money.
Stupid real money.
Stupid real paper.
It's okay. I'll pull it up. I like it, man. It's a cool card.
Can't wait to see it. Look at that.
Nice one, right?
Nice.
Game used. Out of 50.
Is the signature? Auto. Is that on card?
Yeah. I don't buy sticker autos. I hate sticker autos.
Look at that. Little Kobe.
MVP season, though, too, I think. Maybe not 2007-8. Maybe it's
nice.
Right after, right before. Yeah, pretty cool. I want to be a collector. I want to have some items that I'm like, these are my passion. And game worn. And people pay so much money for game worn jerseys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And here I got game worn and an auto for less than 1 ETH. It felt right.
There you go. You gotta love it. And you're a Kobe guy. You gotta have a Kobe, patch auto in your collection. Why the hell not?
Gotta give Dennis Patrick Zender the credit.
DPZ.
He's like, he started like sending like pictures of like, hey, what do you think of this Kobe auto or this one? And I got jealous, and I was like, oh yeah.
So what's your play? Is your play everyone should go out and spend an ETH on a Kobe gear auto?
I think you guys should buy my Kobe auto for 40. No, man, I love and I stand by this so much. You should have an account on PWCC, have an account on StarStuck, have an account on Alt, have an account on eBay, everywhere, because you get to see really cool cards. And with this decentralization, it's a buyer's market. And a card I really like is, I think a design I really like. Pick your card. By the way, how terrible is Anthony Davis? But he's the reason I found this card. It's the 2012 Panini Brilliance series. Have you seen it before?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
a really nice looking card,
Yeah, it's
and
a cool
it's
card.
cheap. And there's Kobe versions of it. So let me see if I could pull it up for you guys. I'm curious if Cage knows the history of this card, and I'm not suggesting to buy what's his name, Anthony Davis. I'm saying take a look at your favorite player from this set and buy it. But I think they only had it 1 or 2 years. Look at this set, Panini Brilliance. So you have Panini Prism Brilliance, okay, really nice card. Prism Red, you flip it. So I like this one. But then you also have, let me see, Panini.
What year is that? 13,
That was
right?
2013. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. This is Panini Brilliance. And there's a Kobe version from 2012 too.
There's a clay of that too. I had in
Yep.
PSA 9. There's a clay rookie, of that also.
I think this is his rookie year. 2012. I'm pretty.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't have the
Yeah,
rookie.
yeah. I mean, it's 100%.
And here's a PSA 10 of Anthony Davis. Yuck, but $100, $85. Look, awesome card. Really like the look of it. I'll look up Clay while you tell us the history.
I mean, I don't know the difference between 2012. I thought when I was in 13, I thought that was an insert in the Prism brand. You know what I mean? Like Brilliant, like they have like splash cards in the optic. I thought it was something that was inside there. But it looks like 2012. It might have been its own release there. It's, see how on the 13 it said 2013 Prism Brilliance. Look like a Prism card. But I'll tell you, it's not the same type of Prism chromatic. It looks like it from afar, but it's more like papery. It's more like it's more like absolute, absolute cards.
It reminded me of the Kobe at 50th.
Yes. That's sort of like a chromey paper type of card. But there's the clay. Yep, I graded one of those. It's funny too because when I was buying 2012 Prism clay, base to grade them way back when, people were throwing these in. Like that was like the add-on in the 2012 lot. But I mean, I was paying, $8-10 for a clay base 20 years ago. So I found that one. I was like, oh, look at this. I got a Draymond and a this,
It's a nice card. I don't know why it
cool.
doesn't have the rookie stamp on it, but here's $3.99 for Clay. It's crazy that Clay is 4 times what AD is. And by the way, guys, this is also cool. So if you have cards at all these places, somebody bought my Clay Prism 2012 this weekend for $800. I should have probably listed it for $900, but straight buy it now offer. And that kind of stuff always gives me a little pulse of the market to see where it is. And to me, I think the clay market's going to go up a little bit.
As the lead up to him coming in.
Correct.
And then hopefully he scores 50 his first game, and it just keeps going up. But yeah, these are cool cards, man. That's definitely a cool card. I like it, the Brilliance. Look at that.
This one's also cool, Cage. So this is
an auto. Brilliant Beginnings.
Panini Brilliance. Also Panini Brilliance. Really nice card.
Brilliant Beginning auto. That's pretty nice.
The auto's kind of shitty, but...
because it's in like a marker.
Yeah, and I think it's also on a sticker, and it might fade.
Yeah, it happens. That's a cool card, though. I like that. Yeah, see the Brilliance there in the next year? I think it's part of the Prism brand.
Yep. This is actually my favorite one.
The Kobe?
Yeah.
2012. Look at that. It's nice.
$64.
And that's spellbound, it says.
Yep.
So that's probably like, like a purple color. Look at that. $64 for a PSA 10. Looks like like a color match there, jersey color, that's pretty nice, man. $13 for that. Whew. It's a cool card, man. I like it.
That's where I'm at on it.
So I have been thinking about this play for quite some time.
Oh, no.
And you guys...
Is your phone going to die?
No. You might think I'm stupid. No, I got like 65% on my phone. Think about this play for quite some time. You ready? It's a rookie card. It's a rookie card from the 90s. Okay. And I think of this as almost like, let's call it like the Prism base rookie, because there are Prism silvers and there are Prism, colored, numbered, or you can call it like the chrome. Let's think of this as like a chrome base. And there are refractors, and there are, you know, gold refractors and the whole deal. This is like the lowest level, but in PSA 10 it's still manageable. I'm trying to think of like brand wise and comparison wise to, you know, like the Zion Prism was a great comparison to me, right? There's 20,000 of them. And this rookie, there's only 1,200 of this base rookie in PSA 10.
Which
and
is
I
a
believe
lot for that time, though.
it's a lot for 1999, definitely. I believe there will be more. It's a pop that's going to continue to grow, but it's not going to grow as much as I thought it was going to grow, and it eventually is going to stop. And because people realize that
You
there's
don't know a
1,200,
single rookie from 1999.
so and you'll know this one. I guarantee you know this player. Guaranteed. Guarantee you know this player. 100% guaranteed. And why people know this pop is going to continue to grow, so people are dumping them because last summer this became a play. People were like, wow, let's buy these and grade them. So a lot of people are getting them back now, right? A lot of people are getting them back now. And because there's, for the next month, 2-3 months, there'll probably be an increase in supply. I think this is a great time to buy these. And this rookie, you can name whoever you think it is. This rookie's brand is bigger than anyone you will name.
I love this guy. This is my favorite player. This is like my Manu.
No. And
Manu Ginobili.
And this is he's still playing and playing at a high level,
Dude,
right?
1999.
Yep, playing at a high level, like a real high level, and is
You're playing
more
around.
well known. No, I'm not. This rookie, it's a Pikachu rookie. Okay. So
I searched the 1999 draft.
yeah, you're looking at like Manu
And I'm like,
Ginobili. I like Manu, but no,
Stevie
not
franchise, Baron Davis, Lamar Odom,
So
Elton Brand.
look at my comparison, guys, right? So and Baron Davis might still be playing somewhere, actually, from the 99 draft. He might be playing in China somewhere, but this is Pikachu. So you guys know in the 1999 set, right? Pikachu has a bunch of variations. You got the first edition, you got the first edition red cheeks, first edition yellow cheeks. There's a shadowless red cheeks, shadowless yellow cheeks, and then there's the base version, which is just him yellow cheeks. Which in PSA 10, it's about 1,200 and change of those, right? Now, while I assume that's going to go up, because people were last year, if you remember, I gave this as a play in like August or July of last year. You could buy the cards for $1 because people played these cards. They're not a lot of PSA 10s because these are scratched up and dinged up and the whole deal. But you buy them for $1, there'll probably be a lot more PSA 8s and PSA 9s coming. Not a huge amount of 10s, but people are getting 10s back. You can see from the numbers. Last week, auctions for this in PSA 10, $80, $82, $87 in PSA 10. Again, can't even grade a card for that much now. So people aren't sending these in, and the time where you could send these in is probably done. And anybody who was sending them in, send them in. So we're reaching a point where we're probably going to see more of these. You know, the probably might go 1,300, 1,400, you name it. But you're going to get a supply of these coming in over the next couple of weeks, months, as people get the stuff back, and they're just going to dump them, right? Because when they were sending them in, PSA 10s on this were like $300, right? $350, $400. Now $80. That's not going to stay because ultimately the supply of these are done. People dug them up. People got them out because Pokemon was huge. It's still huge. Yep. I mean, this store today, people were buying Pokemon like crazy that I was in, right? This second run of Pokemon dragged up all of these Pikachus because at $300 for $10 to grade it, everybody who thought they had a PSA 10, they found it and graded it, right? There's not going to be another 1,000 of these out there. So what's going to happen is if you just think about this, right?
We can vouch for that because the people that subbed Pikachus with us were people who would never, ever grade cards in their lives. They were like, oh, let me go check my binder at my 44th address. And they're like, here's some
Pikachu is great. And they graded a lot of them. People graded tons of these things, right? But I have a feeling that even though you're grading a lot of these, you're going to get back a lot of 6s, 7s, 8s, maybe some 9s, maybe a 10 here and there, right? But not that many. But we're going to hit a point where in 6 months, that's it. You're done, right? And remember the red, which had a couple hundred of them, was like...
Oh, no, Bagel Master's calling. Do you want any more salt bagels? By the way, the friendships we've made in the hobby are insane. Like, Vadim is someone, Bagel Master. I don't know if he likes that people call him that, but that's his Instagram name, so I assume he does. Dude, like we met last year on Mercari when I was trying to buy a Zion Silver. That Cage is now friends with him. We see him. It's just the hobby is incredible. Are you back with me? Nope. Cage got a call. But I do agree with you, like out of sight, out of mind when you're back, Cage.
Well, voice is back, but yeah, I am. The camera's back.
You're a little bit.
Sorry about
You're a
that.
little choppy.
There's maybe 1,400 of these that are going to be out there, and that's it. And compare that to Zion. Compare that to the other things that are going out there. Compare that to the brand. You know, ultimately, people are going to want to have a Pikachu rookie. And what I was saying before Cole came in was the red of this was like $7,500. It was like $8,000. I have a feeling they eventually head back there as the supply glut is done, because Pokemon as a brand is not going anywhere, right? This brand is not going anywhere. So, you know, this was a card that people were buying for $300. The supply hit, right? There's more supply. So buying that card now for 25% of what it was, $80, $82. You find those auctions. Look, they're on eBay, you know, completed auctions last week for, I'm telling you, $80, $90. There's quantity, 125 or best offer. Who knows how many you can get. That buying window and the price it's at now, I believe, is going to close. And this is one of those things. Is it going to triple overnight? No. But I believe it's one of those things where for the investment that you'd buy a Score retail box and get nothing in it, you could buy one of these, throw it in your PC, and it's something that will probably, you know, financial advice, whatever it is, double in the next couple of years, triple, who the hell knows? But it's not going down from where it is now. So it's just
I think
cool little.
Guys, I believe this so much. Like, I think you should have a little Pokemon in your collection. I really do. One, for the education, right? When you buy something, you also kind of want to learn more about it. But that's a market that we, like, as sports card investors, kind of like push to the side until it's convenient for us. And I think that's foolish, because there's as much, if not a bigger audience for Fortnite, Pokemon, Magic, all of those cards, all of that like fantasy world. And I think it would be foolish to not learn about it, not be a little bit involved, at least on the periphery. So for just
we had Rip Pack Slabs, right? I mean, these are NFL players. These are, you know, people who are with the culture. They're breaking stuff, and they say, "Well, the kids want Pokemon. The kids break Pokemon." You know what I mean? That's pretty much all you need to know. The Pokemon, you know, stuff, celebrations, 25 years. It's, you know, people are breaking it like crazy now. They'll ultimately always go back to the old stuff, right? So, you know, there's, I believe, going to be more than 1,500 people who want a Pikachu PSA 10 rookie for $80. So,
all right, what else? Do you want to talk about how ridiculous the Bleacher Report was when they put the top 25 under 25 out? Did you see that?
I saw it. But you know, those I now believe that these companies put out these lists for clicks and to get people talking more than the substance that's put in there. I think they throw in something that's insane just to get everybody talking about it.
Like they don't watch the games, right?
I mean, somebody watches the games, but
they put Taylor Horton Tucker in front of SGA.
Well, LeBron would agree.
They put Franz Wagner ahead of Zion.
I agree, because I think Franz Wagner is fantastic. You know, I gave him as a play. So
they put Ja Morant in front of Luka.
Well, I agreed with that until yesterday. I'm just playing.
They put Tyrese Maxey at number 5.
Maxey's awesome.
No,
I mean, he became the new Michael Jordan. Maxey. I mean, you know, Maxey being as good as he is like the worst thing to ever happen to Ben Simmons.
Well, you know how much I love Maxey. I mean, I've been talking about Maxey.
But you don't think he's number 5?
I think he has potential to be number 5. I think he has
potential to break into the top 25. Yeah, I think it's
right
on purpose, man, so that people like us to talk about it. And good for them. I mean, putting Bull number 1 is going to get people talking.
They put Cade Cunningham at number 14. And guys, I got to be honest with you. I don't know what people see in this guy. I think he's one of the worst first-round picks we've ever seen as a guard. Some people think he's going to grow into his own. He is an atrocious scorer. He's an atrocious shooter.
He's actually picked his game up recently. He's had a couple good games. You know, he's been better the last couple of weeks than he was in the beginning of the first. I mean, I'm not saying he's not atrocious, but he looks a little better.
It's interesting how expectations to reality is baked in, right? He's like his game is picked up now. He's shooting 34% from the field.
I'm not saying he's good, man. I'm just saying as bad as he was at the start of the season, he's got a little bit better. You know,
All right,
I mean, I think
topic,
Jalen Green's hurt. I think too, right?
Yeah, Jalen Green's hurt on the Rockets.
Hamstring.
Do you think players know spreads? So let me ask you: the Clippers yesterday were playing. This was the greatest.
Pete Rose did.
This was the greatest backdoor cover of my entire life. The Pistons were losing by 29 points to the Clippers. Okay. The over/under, the spread was 11.5. With a minute left, they were up by 20. The Clippers, and then the Pistons covered by 11.5, and they scored. I think it was 6 points in the last 30 seconds. Like when the game's over, you know how they like usually dribble the ball out. Any thoughts on that? Like, do you think they knew?
No. I mean, do I think they know? Maybe they know. I have no idea if they. I would think these guys make so much money that it's just not one of those things that they want to even get caught up in. You know what I mean? There's so much at stake to be dragged into something like that and get thrown out of the league and lose your livelihood. I don't think it's it. I mean, college.
Do you think it's a point of pride, though. Like they want to cover spreads.
No, I don't think at that level they care. You think the Pistons went back afterwards and were like, "Yeah, we lost, but don't worry, we only lost by 11, guys. So we did better than what Vegas thought we were going to do." No. I don't think that conversation's happening on the bus.
I've never seen something like that in my life. It worked out in my favor, but I thought it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, look, maybe somebody's uncle called him and said, "You guys got to score 6 points here. Let's go." You know, I need it. I doubt it, though. You know, if it happened the other way, you'd be like, "I think this is a fix is in against me. They should have been shooting. Why were they not shooting?" like you could have come in.
Couldn't believe it.
Like if you had it the other way, where you were up 29 points and needed to be 11.5, you'd be like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." Somebody called it in from BetMGM. They called the Pistons.
I said thank you, and I went to boxing.
That's it. You said thank you, and then you grab another Kobe gear card with a Kobe gear on it. Let's go. Listen, this was a fun one. I'm gonna go because the pizza's getting cold.
Peace.